What's going on, Warriors? It is 2:44 in the morning, and wanted to make this video to capture what losing sleep over a loss looks like. And it's not pleasant and it's not fun, but I had to make this video to kind of get some things off my chest so I can at least go back to sleep. But yeah, it's didn't things didn't go my way today in a certain situation and a couple situations before this, and a lot of it had to do with uh, an opponent's integrity of play, cheating me out of a couple things, and things that were now I'm struggling with those emotions of you're not good enough. You're putting in all this training, and then you come up with a tough loss, and it's kind of those that kind of that old loop of why do you even play? It's like you can't win, so what's the point? So when you get to matters that are deeply personal to you, like this matter is to me, obviously it means a lot to me on this side of the spectrum, just because it's not even 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep because my mind's still hung up on this. But you have to find what's in your mind and what needs to be addressed so you can move forward, not only in tennis but in life in general. So if you have a tendency to obsess over things like I do, because you're driven and you're passionate about things, just know that this side of the house is another part of the journey that you're going to have to travel down in order to spur yourself into a success. And I've been here before, and it's I've always come out on the other side better, but it's hard to see that when you're in the thick of it, and you're losing sleep, and you have to make a YouTube video to kind of help alleviate some of that burden. But like I said, you have to find out what makes your mind work, and how to approach that and move forward. Now, there's a lot of people who on their journey won't lose sleep over a loss like this, even though it's not a recorded loss, or it's not like I'm in the U.S. Open, or I'm losing money or anything. It's nothing like that, but it's a matter that's deeply personal to me. And tennis, in general, is a matter that I've put a lot of time and effort and energy in. So when things don't go my way, sometimes it does take me a while to disengage, even though I've, in that certain match, or that context of that match, I put all of my effort and energy into it and came up short. And so my mind has a hard time processing that. And I feel this is the maybe a little bit of arrogance or entitlement that you get from training hard, is I deserve this. I've been working at this. It's like the Charlie and Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. He's like, well, I deserve it more than anyone, and he wants to get his golden ticket, and he feels like he's in a rough situation with his grandpa, and like they don't have any money, and it's like, well, I deserve it. And I kind of have that feeling sometimes, because I feel like I'm putting in so much time and effort, but then for someone else to come along and cross me on my journey to essentially uh, achieve a victory through dishonest means, to me burns me up. I don't really mind losing. I mean, obviously, I still am frustrated with it, but I feel like the integrity is preserved in whatever you're doing. But you have to keep in mind that life is going to throw this stuff at you, and you could be have the most integrity. You could be the hardest working person in the world, and then somebody can just come up and pull the rug out from underneath you, and then laugh about it all the way to the bank. Because that's just how life is. So when you get in situations like this, like me, and I'm going to go for a run later to help kind of clear my mind, is you have to obviously make a plan for how do I improve from here? Where do I go from here? What do I do with these emotions? Because the emotions I have now, and I've been here before, so I have some experience, is these are either going to build you up or break you down. And it's easy to go down the route of break you down. That's the path of least resistance, to the point where you're saying that I'm no good, whatever you're into, and you come up with a loss. It's like, why do I even do this? Like, obviously, I'm not good enough, and that if you keep playing that tape in your head, you're never going to progress. So now that I've got a little bit of fire lit underneath me, I might train just a little bit harder this time and work a little bit faster, in my uh, decision making. When it's like, oh, do I want to go for a run or do I just want to sleep in for another hour and a half? Maybe I'll actually start going for that run now instead of, uh, just taking the easy route. So trying to figure out something productive with these emotions is the path of most resistance. And when you have those moments, especially whatever endeavor that you're into and moving forward in life, you have those little nagging thoughts about, oh well, remember last week when you wanted to go for a run and you decided to sleep in. Those are the types of things that eat away at me, and I feel that I'm not living up to my true self. And that's the only person you can't lie to is yourself. You can lie to everyone else around and say that I've been putting all this work, but it only matters if that's true. And sometimes you can be on that spectrum or that wavelength and come up short. And how you interpret those emotions is the key for how to grow past that experience, because it's not easy to deal with. And as much as I love winning, losing provides a different context for growth. And I think only with a loss can we really get that fire lit underneath us to say, okay, this is really unpleasant. I want to overcome this. How do I overcome this? And then once you move forward and then you do overcome that situation, you can think back, and I can look at this YouTube video for reference. It's like, okay, I remember how I was feeling then, but I put in the work, I did something productive with it, and now I've reaping the benefits of that. So, like I said, this is it. You're looking at it. You're looking at a guy sitting here making a YouTube video, not even 3 o'clock in the morning, because I can't sleep, and usually the last month and a half I've slept like a baby. So when you find something that lights this kind of fire underneath you, take the path of most resistance. You have to be like, okay, this sucks. This sucks. I want to move forward from this. How do I move forward from this? And then if you choose to walk that path, the end results will be there. They may not be there immediately, and that's a part for me that I struggle with a lot, especially this is what tennis does to you, is you have to be patient. You have to realize that you're on the course, but you just have to keep moving forward, because even the best in the world who have the time and opportunity to train 4 hours a day and 4 hours off conditioning, and have a team of scientists and PTs and everyone that are there to support them in their success, they still lose. And if you look at Tsitsipas, who just recently took a loss, I'm sure he's feeling very, very similar to what I'm feeling. That nagging thought in the back of your mind is you should have worked harder, you should have trained harder. So I'm listening to that voice, and I'm sitting here in the morning, the wee hours of the morning, listening to that voice. So I'm going to move forward from this. I am going to persevere and overcome, and you will see a completely different person within the next 3 months. So I want to get some things off my chest. That's all I got for this one. See you in the next one.